You've been lied to about intelligence. It's not your IQ. It's not how much you know. And it's definitely not how fast you speak. Because in the moments that actually matter, the meeting, the conflict, the pressure, intelligent people fail. They overthink, they react, they lose control. The smartest person in the room is usually the quietest one, the one who pauses, who observes, who doesn't react. And here's the unsettling part. They're not necessarily smarter than you. They just see what you don't. And in high-stakes moments, that's all that matters. They win. Not because they know more, but because they see more. And in this video, you'll learn how to outsmart people without being the smartest in the room. This isn't about becoming a genius. It's about becoming dangerous in a different way. Because real intelligence is not accumulation. It's interpretation. The samurai understood this centuries ago. They didn't win because they were stronger. They won because the battle was already decided, in the mind. Today, neuroscience confirms the same truth. If you can control your attention, you regulate your emotions. If you regulate your emotions, you make better decisions. And better decisions quietly, consistently compound into power. So in this video, you'll learn a system, not hacks, not tricks, a framework you can actually use under pressure. A way of thinking that transforms you from reactive to controlled, precise, and almost unreadable. And halfway through, I'll show you the one shift that instantly makes you appear more intelligent, even if nothing else changes. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Intelligence. You walk into a room. Someone dominates the conversation, fast, loud, confident. Your instinct says, they're smarter. But watch closely. They interrupt. They rush answers. They react emotionally when challenged. This is not intelligence. This is noise. Real intelligence looks slower. The samurai had a principle. Do not act from impulse. Act from awareness. Modern science explains why. When you react instantly, you're operating from emotional circuits, fast but imprecise. When you pause, even for a second, you activate higher cognition. The next time someone pressures you, don't answer immediately. Pause, breathe, then respond. That single moment shifts you from reactive to deliberate, because in that single second, while everyone else is reacting, you're choosing. In that single second, power is created. Chapter 2. Attention is your weapon. Most people lose before the game even begins. Most of them never even notice it. Their attention is scattered, pulled in every direction, controlled by noise. They react to everything and understand nothing. But you start to see the difference. You choose where your attention goes. You decide what actually matters. And that alone separates you from most people. The samurai trained focus like a blade. Because where attention goes, energy follows. And here's the modern insight. Attention controls emotion. If your focus is chaotic, your emotions will be unstable. If your focus is controlled, your emotions stabilize. In any situation, ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? Shift it intentionally. From fear to observation. From reaction to pattern. You don't need more intelligence. You need cleaner attention. Chapter 3. Emotional control beats raw IQ. Pressure reveals truth, not your knowledge, your mind. Or, as the samurai would say, true intelligence reveals itself in chaos. Because when pressure rises, knowledge becomes useless, if you can't think. Because pressure doesn't test what you know. It reveals how you operate. You've seen it. People who know everything freeze, overthink, lose control. And others who know less stay calm and decide better. That's the difference. Intelligence is not what you know. It's how you think under pressure. Knowledge is stored. Thinking is active. And under stress, only one survives. Modern science explains why, when emotions spike, your brain shifts control from clear reasoning to survival mode, unless you can regulate it. When pressure hits, don't try to be smarter. Get calmer. Slow your breathing. Slow your response. Create space, because that space is where real intelligence lives. Chapter 4. The Power of Questions. Social Intelligence. Here's a quiet advantage most people ignore. The smartest person in the room asks the best questions. Not to impress, to understand. Curiosity outperforms dominance, because when you ask, you gain information. When you argue, you reveal your limits. The samurai observed before striking. You should do the same. Instead of proving a point, ask, what makes you think that? What am I missing here? Now you control the frame of the conversation, and people start revealing everything. Chapter 5. Systems Thinking. The Hidden Edge. Most people think in events. Smart people think in systems. They don't just see what's happening. They see why it's happening, and what comes next. This is where quiet power becomes real power. Because once you understand patterns, you don't need to react anymore. You anticipate. The samurai didn't chase outcomes. They understood flow. In any problem, ask, what caused this? What pattern is repeating? Now you're no longer inside the situation. You're above it. Chapter 6. The Shift That Changes Everything. Here's the shift I promised. Stop trying to appear intelligent. Start trying to understand. That's the shift. The moment your goal changes, your behavior changes. You listen more. You interrupt less. You observe patterns others miss, and suddenly, people assume you're smarter. Not because you know more, but because you think better. Chapter 7. The One Thing You Control. There's one question the samurai returned to again and again. What can I actually control right now? Not others' opinions, not external chaos, not the outcome. Only this, your attention, your emotional distance, your energy. That's your real battlefield. Because once you stop fighting what you cannot control, wasting energy on unwinnable battles, you recover the power to shape what you can. You become strategic. You pick only the battles you can actually win. You conserve your energy for moments that matter. You create emotional distance from the noise. Most people fight everything. You choose your fights. That's how you outsmart. Not by doing more, but by doing less. Intelligently. Chapter 8. Endurance over Brilliance. Here's what nobody tells you. Outsmarting people is not about winning once. It's about consistency. Endurance beats intelligence. Because small advantages, repeated daily, become unstoppable. The samurai trained relentlessly. Not for one battle, but for all of them. Don't aim to be brilliant. Aim to be slightly better. Every day, clearer, calmer, more precise. And that's what compounds. So here's the truth. You don't outsmart people by thinking faster. You outsmart them by seeing clearer and reacting less. Control your attention, and your emotions follow. Control your emotions, and your decisions sharpen. And over time, those decisions build something most people will never understand. Quiet power. Not loud, not obvious, but undeniable. The samurai knew it. Science confirms it. The mind wins the battle before it even begins. So the next time you're in a room full of noise, don't compete. Observe. Pause. Choose. Because the one who sees clearly already leads. And if you're ready to build that kind of mind, this is just the beginning. Now you know where real intelligence begins.